In the last of this five-part series, I want to talk a little bit about what I call where the magic happens in strategy. It's something that is actually the basis for a company that I founded with my co-founder, Phil Burns, called the Platform for Strategic Growth. But where the magic happens in strategy is when we can take that point of strategic control and match it with unique needs of our high priority customer segments. So segmentation meets value chain. Customer needs discovery meets value chain is what this is really all about. So to conclude this initial five-part series on some of the key constructs of strategy in the 21st century, in an ideal world, we find a unique point of strategic control in the value chain that I talked about in the very first of this five-part series. And then we do our segmentation homework and we find some customers in our high priority segments that have a need that is really important to them that only we can create vis-a-vis what we do in that point of strategic control. It's lining up the two of them is where the magic happens in strategy and where it gives you sustainable competitive advantage over time. Quick illustration of this. This is the old solar roofs. You see the Tesla car right there. I had done a very detailed value chain analysis using the constructs from the book, The Carrot and the Stick, and a consulting project for a company a number of years ago. Matter of fact, we did a value chain and strategic control analysis and tried to align incentives in the solar market for this company. And this company had a product that looked kind of like this, very similar to this is the current Tesla product. These are solar products. So solar roofs that look like regular roofs. Everyone wants a roof that looks like a normal roof rather than having those big giant panels on your roof. Everyone would want something like that if it was cheaper, more durable, and actually created some electricity. When we did this value chain analysis in some detail for a company other than Tesla, what we found is there was one company that owned about 40% of the installers that were both the licensed electrician and had roofing skills and capabilities, because you needed to be both to put these things up on the roof. The old panels, you basically would have a roof installer install them, and then you brought in the licensed electrician at the end to do the final grid hookup and assure, inspect, and make sure that it's safe. These need to be installed by someone who is a licensed electrician up on the roof. Turns out one company owned about 40% of the installed base of people who had those skills, and it's a really hard thing to develop because you need to pay someone a premium over their existing salaries as an electrician to get up on a roof and deal with some of this stuff. That one company we identified 2 years before Elon Musk and Tesla bought it. That company was SolarCity. It was the installer base inside of SolarCity that would be a point of strategic control if someone can control that also controlled this technology. So the matching of the needs of the core segments to have an aesthetically appealing roof that was more durable and better than existing roofs, and be the company that is the only one that can provide it because you own 40% in this case of the installer base, is what we advocated to the board back then. This is a relatively small company. The board turned it down, probably right because it was an expensive acquisition and the debt might have swamped the company. Elon Musk, obviously, either intuitively or through the processes we talk about in the book, did the same exact analysis, and what did he do? He went out and bought Tesla. And matter of fact, the quote you're about to see behind me is the exact quote, a direct quote from Elon Musk from a publication called Electic, an online publication. He said, it's looking quite promising that a solar roof actually costs less than a normal roof before you even take into account the value of electricity. So the basic proposition would be, note value proposition to the key segments. Would you like a roof that looks better than a normal roof? Lasts twice as long, costs less, and by the way, generates electricity. Why would you buy anything else? What he's done is he's the only one that can provide it because he owns now over 50% of the installers that can do it. Number one, the second place firm that has capabilities is about 1%. He can control and be the only one to deliver these roofs to market. That's the matching of the needs of that segment with your unique capabilities to do it. Now, this hasn't all been a huge upside success story for Tesla because they've run into a lot of other problems. First, on the debt side, and second, in terms of the execution of making this happen, isn't necessarily as easy as the strategy. The execution won't matter if the strategy isn't right. The strategy doesn't matter even if right, if the execution doesn't happen. They all have to go hand in hand. But from what we do in terms of thinking the underlying strategy, the strategy was absolutely brilliant. Find the point of strategic control, control it, and be the only one that can deliver those needs to the ultimate segments that care about it. It's real, it's relevant, and rigorous. If you want to learn more about how to do it, to take an executive playbook and actually implement it for your company, this will be the last on the 5-part series. Whether it be the book or online courses, give you lots of resources to try and do it for yourself. I want you to succeed rather than your rivals. It matters.